People, Deluded, I'm back again, here to speak about a couple of things. First and foremost, Bukayo Saka. I love that young man. Who doesn't? There's gonna, listen, he's only 19, you know. I love him, you know. It's the same way he's playing as a 15, 16-year-old playing in the under 18s was the same 16-year-old playing in the 23s. Is the same 17-year-old you saw burst on the scene. He's been playing the same way. The only thing that's improved is his speed of thought, his intelligence. I love Bukayo Saka. He's adaptable. He can play everywhere. He does it with a smile whether he wants to or not. You know, there are things that can improve. Like now you're seeing, like, even, I think once again, you know, I love his consistency. That's the one thing young players are going to live or die by. But if we look at that game again, and I'm not blaming him because Lacazette had better chances, but just isolated to Bukayo Saka last game against Leicester, his decision making could have been the difference between him scoring and him assisting. Now, he's 19, you know, he's definitely one of the best 19-year-olds I've seen, so I'm not criticising him. These are things that would be there in a 19-year-old. I'm just saying that next level, that's what you want to see. I love him, you know. He can play a whole heap of positions and he does it well. Again, we've kind of had to overstretch him and maybe use him more than we would like, and that's testament to his ability, his consistency and whatnot. But it also highlights how poor our squad is. I love him a lot, you know. His technical ability is one thing. He's very skillful. He's got a speed of thought. He can play in tight spaces. You know, he's got good balance. He's not the biggest, but he's very strong. He's got all of these things. His movement off the ball, very intelligent. But what I like is the temperament and the consistency. You can have all the ability in the world. If you ain't got the temperament, you're not going to be in good stead. And he's taken everything in his stride. Let's be serious, you know. A 19-year-old like Bukayo Saka with a fan base like Arsenal, like modern day fan bases now, can be overwhelmed, you know. Good or bad, it's hyperactive. They bombard you. The scrutiny you get on and off the field as well. You know, you're a young man who, you know, some of his friends are in college talking about you and he can't even walk down the street in the right way. So he's taking it all in his stride. His temperament is good, and we need to remember, as much as I love Bukayo Saka, I've said this before, this is the honeymoon period for Donny. Nothing he does is wrong to some fans. He can't do anything. That's going to flip. There's going to come a time where he's playing inconsistent, where he's struggling to get goals and assists, or just play with the consistency we're currently seeing. Happens to all players. There's going to be setbacks, but his temperament, for me, is what tells me he's going to bounce back from that. You know, look at Aubameyang. Aubameyang's been a lethal gunman in front of goal, been a maverick since he's played for this team. 5 games without a goal. I'm not saying don't ask about it, but you see the scrutiny he's facing. See the scrutiny Lacazette's facing. You know, they're going to have to deal with this. So I think the temperament is there. And what I like about him, he's very intelligent, you know. I'm not talking book smart, which he clearly is, you know. He can be told tactics and actually implement them. He doesn't, to a degree, he plays on instinct. He's a young man and we need that. But everything he does is very calculated. And for him to be 19 years of age now, 50 appearances for this club is scary, you know. Where's the time gone, you know? 50-odd games for Arsenal, you know. Long live another 200 for this guy. I never want him to leave. I just want him to get better. I don't care if he makes it as a left winger, right winger, left back, whatever. I love the guy. You know, I think he's a winger. I think right now in the short term, I'm considering him playing in that 10 role, even though ideally he plays on the flanks for me, because we ain't got no creativity and he can do that. Left back if required, but I want him playing on the flanks. He's a scary player and it's lovely to see he's got an England cap, he's got a new contract. Obviously I'm happy to see he's probably on 30-40 bags a week now, you know. Young guy, counting all this money, playing well, you know, can make some investments and all of these sort of things. You know, I'm happy to see the progress Bukayo Saka is making, playing for England as well. You know, these are all things we dreamed of doing, winning cups. You know, hopefully, I hope you dream of winning the Premier League and Champions League, Saka. I want to see you do that at Arsenal, but dreaming of winning cups with your boyhood club, I assume he was an Arsenal fan, hopefully he was. Don't let me down, Saka. You know, playing for England, you know, scoring for your team in the Prem and all these things. He's living a movie. And what I like about him is you can't ignore him. I want him to be, I don't want us to have to rely on Saka this much. But for me, first name on the team sheet, because he's putting a lot of these older guys to denim to shame, because he's playing with pride in the shirt. He's playing with the right temperament. He's being positive. You know, he's just downright being competent and consistent wherever he plays. Left back, be good 1v1. Try not to stop the cross. Go forward. He does that. You know, on the wings, play with your head up. You know, put nice crosses in. Take your man on. He does that. You know, Saka is a lovely sort of player. He's a lovely player, and You know, listen, I've already said, if you're Saka, if you're Greenwood, for me, Jude Bellingham and Jamal Musiala, I can never say his name, or at Bayern Munich, these are the guys I'm looking at to play or play in the immediate Euros to the World Cup. You know, I know in the World Cup in 2022, Euros in 2021, reality is beyond that, really and truly. These are the players, you know, along with Foden and Greenwood and that, you put your hat on and they're going to be your guys for a decade, people. We'll have to see, man. But congratulations to Bukayo Saka, man. Where has the time gone for that man there, man? Really, really and truly. Away from that, folks, people, and I've missed it a bit. You know, I've missed it out a bit. But apparently, Arsenal want to bring back Malen back to the club, obviously following his rapid rise in the Netherlands. He had a knee injury over the end of the season last year, but again, he started off with a bang. He's got 2 assists and 5 goals in 7 games, so again, he's playing well. I'm pretty sure his contract hasn't got too long to run, so is it any coincidence he's linked with a return back to Arsenal, and he's also linked with a move to Barcelona, which both teams go for you. I know which one I'm going to. Congratulations to Malen on the rise he's made. I was livid when he left, and I'm still kind of livid, but I've seen my team let Gnabry go, so it is what it is. You know, I'm happy to see him. Since he's left, he's obviously progressed to a full Dutch international, going back to his homeland. Maybe he left too early. Now is probably the right time to leave if he does, where he's got a solid ground and he's developed as a footballer. The temperament is quite there. You know, I would love to bring Malen back to the carpet, especially with speculation over Lacazette's future and whatnot. I think he's better than Eddie, really, but no disrespect to Eddie, but I think Malen can be that guy. I don't think Eddie Nketiah is ever going to be Arsenal's first choice striker. I believe he can be a squad player. I believe he can contribute. I believe he can be used in the squad. I rate him, but do I think he could be someone that gets close to 20 league goals? I'd love to be proven wrong, because immediately we've got Lacazette's replacement. No, I don't. So I look at him as a squad player. He's got different strengths. I think Malen, with experience, he has more of a chance of being a guy that can get 20 league goals over Eddie. And again, I want to be wrong, because one plays for Arsenal. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards. As I said, he's been linked with Barcelona, and remember his agent is Mino Raiola, who is also Haaland's agent. So he's going to chop some money in the near to distant future when Malen goes, and definitely when Haaland leaves Dortmund, when that is. You know, that's a 70 million thing there, or beyond, really. So we'll see what happens in that regards. There's also been, sadly, Mavropanos, Arsenal defender Mavropanos is set to return in 3 to 5 weeks after undergoing surgery on his meniscus injury. He had been expected to be out until the new year at least, after tearing his meniscus, with that time frame seen as realistic in reports last week. Apparently, Stuttgart coach Pellegrino Matazario commented and said the meniscus was just smoothed, and added he could play again in 3 to 5 weeks. So again, it was feared that he could be out for the season or significant period. Will take just over a month. You know, one thing that's halted Mavropanos' development is injuries. He's had a rotten time with injuries. And forget, you know, making it at Arsenal for a sec. You know, you're playing in the Bundesliga. You know, you're getting exposed to significant Bundesliga minutes. Your team have been promoted. They want to stay in the league. It's exciting times. You know, you put yourself in the... You play well. You could get called up to the Greek side. You put yourself in the shop window for Arsenal to take you seriously with speculation over centre-halves' futures. Or teams in the Bundesliga, teams in the Premier League, other teams or whatever, to go and buy you. That helps Arsenal, because we might have made a 10 million, 15 pound million player out of nowhere, and that could be added. I would like to see him play and showcase that he could potentially have an opportunity at Arsenal. But injuries have stopped him getting that consistent football, and you know, he is very raw. He's had some good games in an Arsenal shirt, but I also remember he looked quite shaky. You know, he looked good against United a couple of years ago, but he was shaky against Watford. He didn't play badly against Palace, but he made a foul that obviously led to led to Benteke, scoring. And the only way you're going to get these little ironed bits out of your game is by playing. So injuries have been a shake for him. So it's sad, really and truly, because it's in Arsenal's best interest for him to have a good season. Can he put himself in the shop window to make profit? If not, can you show you can be an Arsenal first teamer? So it is sad, but we're wishing him a steady recovery. And you know, him and John Jules at Doncaster has returned to Arsenal temporarily, because he's got a knock. And it's sad that these young men that are trying to progress their careers, you know, have been disrupted by injury. But at the end of the day, that's part and parcel of the game. Injuries are an occupational hazard, not only for these two men in question, or better yet, Mavropanos, but just in general, really. You know, it's like a chef not expecting to cut their finger from time to time when they're using knives, for obvious reasons. I'm a bit late to the party, but just to end this, I thought I'd talk about Lucas Torreira. He's been speaking about his move to Atletico. He said, "My wish and my dream has always been to get to Atletico Madrid. It's a goal that I've set myself since I arrived in Italy at the age of 17. Until a few months passed, and he talks about how he's always dreamed of Boca Juniors. He said, "I'm not saying it because I'm here now, but I never dared to say it because you know that maybe at some point you can't come to that dream. But today, really, at 24 years old, I can say it. I've achieved this goal, this opportunity, and I hope to take advantage of it and enjoy it above all. Because this last season at Arsenal on a personal level hasn't been good for me at all. I know I am here for a year. I've been here for 4 or 5 days, and it seems like a lot because I've been treated very well." This was obviously last week or the week before. "It's a new opportunity in my life in which I have thought a lot because Atletico has always been one of my dreams and one of my goals." And he also said, and being able to achieve it at the age of 24 is again very important. It all depends on how I go during the season, which I hope is a very good one. And maybe in the future I can stay at the club. And he also went on to say, I know I'm here for a year. He also, again, reiterating the personal problems. "I suffered a lot of things. I had a lot of personal problems, and more than anything, my family also suffered. And this adventure, everyone is happy. The most important thing is to be able to enjoy myself on the pitch, to be able to help teammates and make fans. Because in the end, football is just that. Make fans happy." And that tells me several things, people. That tells me potentially, you know, what we already knew. For whatever reason, Torreira didn't settle in London, whether that's the language barrier, whether that's the way of life here, whether that's the team, whether it's his personality, whether it's whatever in it, he didn't settle. Likewise, his family weren't too fond of it here. So obviously, as I've already said, a move to Spain is closer to the way of Italy, and more importantly, closer to the way of life he might have had in Uruguay. Not that I'm qualified to talk on that. The language barrier isn't a thing. Obviously, you know, there's these things. There's also a number of Uruguayan players, you know, that play for Atletico Madrid. And also, you know, let's be honest, that footballers are not tribal. There's a couple of South American men at Real Madrid. They're bound to bump into each other. You know, his girlfriend and his family are probably going to be friends with, you know, the Atletico Madrid players. So again, and they're all Spanish speakers. So again, your family's good, you're good. And obviously, for obvious reasons, the sort of player Torreira is, a team like Atletico and under a man like Simeone, who, you know, was on that sort of stuff like he is as a player, it's a match made in heaven. You know, him saying, "I'm only here for a year, hopefully I can stay," it confirmed that he potentially does not want to return to Arsenal, despite what his agent previously said. I, as a fan, would like Torreira back. I don't even think he should have left personally. But what you already know, people, I already believe this is what you lot already believe in, that this will be a permanent move to Atletico, or if not, he moves on elsewhere. And that's in Arsenal's best interest again, because, you know, Torreira plays well, Atletico negotiate with us, or another team takes advantage, we get a better price that can be reintegrated back into the team. The same goes for Guendouzi and a number of these 20-year-olds from the under-23s that have gone on loan. Granted, the 23s aren't going to fetch crazy sums, but every figure counts, everything matters. So it is what it is in that regard. So it's unfortunate to hear about Mavropanos, people. For me, that's probably the most shocking thing of this video, but we move, people, we move, man. There isn't anything else to say, you know. Hopefully we can bring Daniel Malen back, you know. Interested about Torreira's comments, and like I said, Mavropanos wishing you a speedy recovery. But on that note, there's nothing more to add, so I'm going to get out of here. Deluded, I'm out.